guys? Back with another stream. Bambino here. X-Plane 11 VR preview / beta. Flights tonight, and also catching up on the status of VR Aviation. The VR Aviation Group. Blaze and Monk, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Get my music down here a little bit. All right, yeah, we're going to be in the Seneca V, the PA34 Piper Seneca V. I think it's a V. I think they say V. Not sure. Maybe five. 5 passengers we can take in FSEconomy in this plane. Fun plane. This is the Carenado. I believe it's the X-Plane 11 version. Pretty sure. It flies pretty well in VR. So I figured I'd give it a shot tonight, and could have another flight planned hopefully as well if we get through this one fairly quickly. And yeah, it's a nice looking plane. Fun to fly, twin engine, not a turbo, but it's a twin engine, and gets up to about 150 knots around there, so you can move pretty quickly in it. It's actually, I think it might have been the first third-party plane I bought when I got into X-Plane 11. So yeah, so I do like it. It's a fun plane to fly. All right, so let's let me start out by checking. We'll check out what we're doing on FSEconomy here. Let me get mine. All right, so we've got a bunch of members now. Let's see. Let me see. We'll go to membership. Blaze and Monk, there you are. Beer Monster, City Light HD, Crash at Destel, Dots, Aramas, Gitzar, Icos, JKip23, M9 Air, Mark Russell, Milo Snacks, N73DX, Harley, Red Harley Boy, Rift Flyer, Roadrunner, Robo Fryven, Sapper 17, SB 79, Skid Mark, love that, working in HD, and Triple Z Potato. So I think we've got about close to 20 members now, which is great, and the guys have been flying their asses off. You can see here we're cranking out some nice earnings. We do have the contest going. If you basically the person for the month of January that has the most earnings will get 20% of the net asset income, net assignment income for January. So right now, if you take a look at that, yeah, there's a lot of jobs. You could fly anywhere. You don't have to fly at you don't have to fly at what do you call it, LaGuardia. You can fly anywhere in FSEconomy. So there's tons of jobs that you can nail, and they'll all apply to the group. So, but in any event, take a look at where we are. Let's see. We go to banking. 88,000, a little over 88,000 right now in VR Aviation, which is great. And if we look at our statement here, right now we've got the net after expenses is 68,000. So that's a nice payday for someone. 20% of that's a nice payday. So keep up the flying, guys. Appreciate it. And I'm trying to get my flights into my flights. I'm not eligible for the bonus, so I'm taking myself out of that. But I am trying to contribute to it. But we're doing nicely here. We've got almost $250,000 worth of assignment income, which is pretty damn good. That's a lot of flying in the last couple of days. So appreciate everybody getting involved and being part of that. Pretty cool. All right. So anything else I wanted to cover there? I don't think so. Aircraft. Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit about the plan. You know, obviously, right now we only have 88 grand, so we can't do much with that. But I'm thinking that we should probably establish a place to fly out of, a hub, that we either rent gates or we own an FBO. So I think when we get to like $200,000 or $300,000 range, we'll have enough money to be able to start doing that. And we'll pick a place. I'd like it to be in the Northeast. somewhere in the Northeast, around LaGuardia if we could. Maybe it's a small FBO in New York or New Jersey or something. Maybe it's a couple of gate rentals. Like I actually saw, you go to Trenton Mercer. I was looking at this today. KTTM. They have their space available there. I shouldn't probably say this on YouTube, but there is space available there to rent a couple of gates. So this might be a nice hub because we could set up flights to LaGuardia and back, and other airports around Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland and stuff. So this might be a fun place to fly out of. So I'm thinking about that. But in any event, establish a home base, and then once we do that, we'll start to probably buy some planes. I figure we'd probably start with a Cessna 172. It's a stock plane, an X-plane, stock plane, and pretty much every flight simulator that's involved with FSEconomy, so everyone will be able to have a plane they can fly without buying third party, and then maybe a King Air C90 next, because again, that's another stock plane. Get those two in the hangar, and then we'll work from there. But you know, the Cessna for small jobs, and that would mean free rentals. Yep, that mean the group would own the plane, and there would be no rental charges. So that's the whole idea. Start with the Cessna, and then once we get probably about 900 grand, we'll establish a place, then buy a Cessna, and then once we get, it's like 150,000. If you look at the Cessnas, they're not that expensive. Let's see, Skyhawks. Let's pick one. See, there's always about 40 for sale. You see, you can get one for 140 grand. So this one's in Florida. We have to fly it up, but I'd like to get one close. We're probably more close. With 140, 150 grand, we could buy a Cessna, and then a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Then that's a free plane that everybody in the group could use to fly for the group. And then, so we'll establish a place, then we'll buy a plane. Maybe we'll do that in 2 shots. We'll get enough money where we can establish a place and buy the first plane. And then we'll start working on FBOs and etc. So I think that's kind of the plan I'm thinking of, and hopefully you guys agree with that. But, whole idea is to make it fun for everybody to fly around, and not just limit ourselves to the East Coast. Once we start there, then I was thinking maybe we could do something in the UK, like in London area, in England somewhere, and then we could do another one maybe in the West Coast, maybe Northwest up in like Seattle or like Vancouver in Canada, or somewhere up there, somewhere in the Northwest, and try to pick spots, different spots, locations around the globe. So that's this way everyone would have spots to fly near their where they like to fly. So anyway, that's the goal. But we're going to start someplace, and we'll just start in the Northeast there and work our way out. So hopefully, if you take a look at some of these people that have established domains on FSEconomy, just amazing. So one guy I saw with he's got 30 FBOs and like 15 planes, and pretty amazing. A website, it's pretty amazing. So in any event, that's kind of what I've been thinking and kind of the goal. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. But we're getting there. We got 88K, and hopefully we'll get there. We'll get there pretty quick with everyone flying this way. We should get there quick. So speaking of that, I'm going to fly tonight. First flight. I've got planned here. We're going to go from Groton, I guess it's pronounced, in New London, Connecticut. We're going to go from LaGuardia to there and back. We'll do a round trip. I could fit 5 people on this plane. That's the Piper. I've already got it rented there. I'm not sure about the gallons. So we got 90, call it the 200 miles round trip. So let's just say 5, calculate let's say it's 200 round trip. So we're going to need 26 gallons round trip. So I think I'm going to fuel this up to, I'm just going to go to 60. That way I should go. All right, cool. We're going to be a little heavy, but we still got 590 kilograms available. So that plane's set. And Yeah, so the flight, if you take a look at the for-flight window, let me get rid of this. You can look at the upper left-hand corner there. This is the flight we're going to be taking. You can see up in the flight plan up. So we're going LaGuardia to VPOLT to Tagon to Dalhap, I guess that's DHAP, and back to LaGuardia. So be about 200 miles round trip. And, we'll get to it. We're going to start cold and dark, and we'll get to it. So, yeah, man. All right, let's see here. So before we start, let's talk about VR Aviation Group. So if you're on Facebook, just search VR Aviators Group, and we've got 742 members in about a month, which is great. And all these people are interested in VR aviation, which is fantastic. And we're building a nice community of folks that are helping each other out with configuration and questions about just X-Plane and FSX and Fly Inside and DCS. Any flight sim, any headset, welcome. So if you're interested, check out VR Aviators Group and join up. And all you have to do is answer 3 simple questions, and we'll get you in there and talking. So check it. Make sure you check that out. All right? So that's that. Now let's get to the plane. That's a nice looking plane, isn't it? Let's take a little walk around. Oh, look at that. The wheels are missing. The tires. That's weird. So that's a VR glitch. You got to remember, this is a third-party plane. So it's going to have probably some glitches here and there. Yeah, the tires are missing. That's kind of, you can see the disc brakes. And also you can see right through the engine. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's do a quick walk around. The PA34. Looks pretty cool. Let's check out our elevators. Check out our ailerons. They're good. Check out our rudder. That's good. Okay. Beautiful. All right, let's get in the plane. Now I'm hoping we'll be able to use touch controllers to get everything going here. If not, I'm gonna have to restart because I didn't test this. So let's see, where are we? Let's go down here. Let's get our battery on. That's good. Let's shut the music off for now. Start that later. All right, we got the battery off. Oh, sorry, battery on. Got a fuel pump? Where's the fuel pump? Let's do the left fuel pump. And we got our mixture in, throttle 3/4. Let's give her a shot. Good start. Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes already set.
All right, good. All right, so we can turn that fuel pump off. Fuel pump on, and let's get this guy started. Oop, I wonder why that's not working. Okay. Oh, I know why. The mag's not on. There you go. Good start. Fuel pump off. Alternator left. Alternator right. Get our taxi lights on. Nav on. Strobe lights on. Don't need the landing lights. Okay. Let's get over here. Let's get our radio on. What else we got here? Flight director autopilot. Your auto. And let's see, hopefully we can turn this guy on. Yep, boom. It's beautiful. And let's see, what else do we need? We don't need prop heat, we don't windshield, we don't need any of that stuff. Where's our pitot heat? That up here? Nope. Oh, we want autopilot off. For now. I don't know what this guy does. And I don't see the pitot heat anywhere. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. I wonder how I got there's a pitot heat and the vacuum lights are on. Hopefully that will go away. Let the engines warm up a little bit. While we're doing that, let's get we're on CDI. Is on GPS. Let's get our flight plan loaded. So we're going to go menu, delete flight plan. What's nice is all this stuff works. The cursor, scroll down. Oh, no, actually, no. What I want to do is no cursor. Scroll. Now I want the cursor. And we'll scroll down to LaGuardia. Gone. Enter. Should have our flight plan in there. Okay. Let's get the cursor again. We're going to roll down. Come on. I had this flight plan already in the FMS folder. Scroll down to that. Menu. Activate. Leg. Boom. And we should be good to go. What I like to do is, let's just make sure. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, cool. So now I don't have control over the autopilot, so I have to do it all with plane command, which is fine. And did I ever fly with ATC, Bambino? I flew with ATC on, hey, what TCV15, thanks for joining the stream, appreciate it. Yeah, I did. I mean, I've flown with ATC on Pilot Edge, if that's what you mean, but not ATC in X-Plane. I've never used that. All right, so let's get our, we're going to get FSEconomy loaded up here. You guys can trust me on this. All right, that's loaded. That's good. Okay, we're en route from LaGuardia to Groton. Should be good to go. Appreciate you guys joining the stream. We're going to be heading off here in a second here. Try default ATC sometime. I've noticed that it hasn't been so bad since, okay, 11.2. Most places it's a bit wonky in Hawaii, but yeah, I should check into that. I've never really used that at all. I should look into that. Maybe I'll start to do that on flights like this, you know, the flights that aren't covered by my pilot edge. All right, cool. So we're good to go here. Hopefully won't get too much judder once we get away from the airport, from the terminal here. And let me just see where I am. Let's go here. I can take away that, and I can see where I am on the airport diagram. Okay, we're over there. So we want to go to 4. So I'm going to go AA, Alpha Alpha to Yankee Yankee. Right? Should be. That should be it. We don't have to fly too high here. It's going to be, we're going to go 3,000. Altitude 3,000?
Altitude 3,000 feet.
All right, so that we're set up there. We're going to say LNAV on.
LNAV on.
So that would say, so once we get going, we just say autopilot on, and we should pick up our autopilot. All right, let's go. Let's taxi here. Yeah, we're getting some major judder here, which wasn't happening last time. Not sure why. Get that tug out of the way there. Hopefully that'll improve once we get off the ground here. I hate it to be a
approaching runway 04.
All right, thank you. Sometimes I found
Entered
in
runway
VR
04,
you gotta live through the judder a little
5,500
bit.
feet remaining.
You gotta live through the judder a little bit. Okay, we get our flaps set. Autopilot on?
Autopilot already on.
Oh, I see what. I was wondering, why is it pulling? Autopilot off.
Autopilot off.
I say to myself, why is it pulling? Flight director off.
Flight director off.
Let's try this again. Get flaps up. Gear up. I'll fix that sound level in a second. It is loud, I know. LNAV on?
LNAV on.
Something's not right. We're going the wrong way. I think. Well, let's see. Where are we? No, we're good. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold already on.
Altitude 2000.
Altitude 2000 feet.
Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
LNAV on.
LNAV on.
Alright, we should be good to go here. For some reason, we're not getting the right lines here on the PFD. I just want to check. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go flight plan. I'm going to go clear. We're going to do load. Good. Just wanted to get the map on there so we know we're going the right way. But sometimes this MFD is screwed. It's not picking up the right waypoint. But I'm looking there at the map and we look fine, so we should be good. We're doing good here. All right, what's our speed? We're cruising along nice. Let me just bring that back around a bit. Reflections off, and we are good to go. Yeah, the window pops up in VR. Yeah, that's something I should, definitely want to check out. Like I said, I've never really used that much. Let's get outside the plane here. I'm gonna go to external. Go to sound. And let's see. Below that even more. There you go, that's better. Yeah, for some reason I'm getting a lot of judder here. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's just the kind of the nature of the beast, you know. There it is. Fun plane to fly. The first time I ever flew this plane was in X-plane was in Alaska, and I think I crashed it like 2 times trying to land it. It was like, you know, because it was my first, aside from the Baron, which is pretty easy to fly in stock planes. It was my first, the first plane that I really, first third-party plane that I really bought, and I was having troubles with figuring out how to power it into a landing and stuff, but I've learned. DC Sapper, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for checking out the stream. Appreciate it. I really did. Thanks to all you guys for checking out the stream and for all the support on the YouTube channel, Bambino Games, Twitch channel, Bambino VR. Lots of fun. It's really great to see, I don't want to call it an explosion, but it's elevated interest in VR flight simulation. I've been doing this for quite some time, over a year, with Fly Inside. And it started really with Aerofly FS2, way back when. Then found X-Plane, then found Fly Inside and X-Plane. And took it from there. But, now with X-Plane coming out with their own native VR, the preview, now it's really gained some interest. It's pretty obvious. The VR Aviators Group of Facebook's almost 800 members in a month, which is, I didn't realize there were that many people into it, which is great. Yeah, Sapper17, that's great. I appreciate you joining that group. The group is doing really well. We did a little bit of overview when we first started. I'll go through it a little bit again, because some of you guys might have missed it, but it'll be in the replay. You can always check the replays. I either have them on my Twitch account, or I'll put them on YouTube, so you can watch them in either place if you want to check out what happened in the stream. And when I do these FSEconomy streams, I'm going to go over the group and where we are and kind of what the plans are and stuff like that. And so be sure to tune in for that. There's a nice golf course down there. Long Island. Heading over Long Island, going to go over the Long Island Sound into New London, Connecticut. So I've been seriously thinking about learning how to fly the 737, the stock 737. I don't want to spend money on a plane, on a tube plane yet, but I was thinking about spending some time learning how to use the flight system, the flight management system, and all that. And I know it's going to take a little bit of a learning curve. I mean, the G8 planes are pretty easy. The toughest plane for to fly really in my hangar is the 1900D. But I was thinking about it, getting with the 737, trying to learn a little bit of that. But I don't know. The G8 planes are much fun. I think they're a lot more fun to fly. You get closer to the ground, you get to see more stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Might do it. Might do it. This is all Ortho 4XP, all in the Northeast. I could probably show you that at some point. I've got, maybe in between flights, we'll take a look at the Ortho. So I've got basically almost to the Mississippi on the east coast of the United States, from Florida to like southern Vermont. And then I've got California, the LA area where Pilot Edge operates, the LA area, and then I've got in the northwest, I've got up in Alaska a little bit, near Juneau. I've got the Hawaiian Islands, that's all 18 zoom level. I've got Bahamas and parts of the British Virgin Islands, all in 18. And then I started to do some of the UK, like I've been around, I'm working my way out from London. So I plan to do some flights over in the UK soon. So I know there's a lot of folks that are interested in VR flight simming in the UK, and I figured I'd do some flights there too, not just in the US. So. But yeah, it is a fun way to learn. So anyway, I haven't really built that anymore. I've been so concentrated on doing like tweaking my system to make sure it was working. Probably another golf course right there, beautiful. Tweaking my system to make sure it worked properly, and then starting the FSEconomy group. That takes some time, so it's there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I think we should get an update next week for VR, native VR. I think that's what they said in the developers blog, probably sometime next week. So that'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll get mouse, maybe we'll get laser pointer, maybe we'll get some more features, which would be cool to check out. I'll probably run it on my beta system first, just to make sure it's running okay, and then I'll switch it over to the production system. That's what I'm going to kind of do from now on, just to keep things safe. The other thing I'm trying to answer is, and it's not happening today, because right now I'm getting a little bit of judder, more so than usual. Actually, maybe it's more stutter. There is a difference between stutter and judder, and actually this came out, a couple of people asked that question. So stutter, to me, is the simulator stuttering. So basically slowing down for a brief moment and pausing, and then starting up again. Judder is a VR term, where basically the image starts to go wild inside the headset. That's judder. So one, stuttering has to do with X-Plane's frame rates and its processing. And judder has to do with projection into the headset. So there's really two different things. And actually someone on my YouTube channel asked me if I was confusing it with jitter. And jitter is completely different. Jitter is something to do with voice communications, primarily digital voice communication, like voice over IP or some of the older technologies, but digital voice communication, where basically you're losing packets and it causes loss in the communication. So you get like a word dropped or that kind of thing. Things kind of sound funny. That's called jitter. I'm pretty sure that's what jitter is. But jitter and judder are two different things. Jitter is a telecom term, and judder is a VR term. Sometimes you get judder and stutter together. I don't know what we call that. We call it terrible. That's what we call it. See what's happening inside the cockpit. A little bit better, maybe. Yeah, that's the other thing too. And we talked about this a little bit on the FSEconomy or the VR Aviators group page. Those engines are huge, aren't they? Let's check out. That looks nice right there. A little bit of. Now we're getting judder because the plane is kind of looking weird. That's judder. Jitter would mean the plane looks good. Stutter would mean the plane looks good, but this ground is kind of stuttering as you're flying by. This is judder we're seeing here. So what I was saying is, kind of discussed this on the VR Aviators group. 11.20 VR1 seems to act differently at different times. Like I always restart my computer. Like I shut it down, do a hardware reset before I stream, because this version seems to run better after that. Now I did that before we started here, but now, and this plane was fine yesterday. I took this route yesterday, or somewhere around here, and it was flying judder free. But now we've got judder, and it just seems to have almost like a life of its own. Yeah, just like the MFD, or I guess that's the MFD. I guess it's a side-by-side PFD MFD here. The map doesn't have the GPS. That's a Carenado issue. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on what's going on. But our second flight's going to be the SR-20. We're going to fly the SR-20. I think we'll do a short hop in Hawaii. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to fly this for the group. Oh, damn. And I can't go back and do that now. That sucks. Oh, well. Sorry, group. What I'll do is I'll transfer the money that I make into the group. We'll do that. In my case, the jitter in the headset going up instead of down fixes... You mean, that's judder. What you're talking about is judder. Fixes the issue I've noticed. I showed it in my stream last night. It's really weird. Okay. Yeah, and I missed it. It's DCS APR. This DCS APR, right? Because of your DCS, I guess. You fly DCS or do you fly X-Plane 11? Oh no, if you're flying in FSEconomy, you're probably flying X-Plane 11. Sorry. Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully they'll be able to eliminate these issues. You know, it's you got to remember this is a preview, which they term before even a beta, right? But it's a preview. I call it a preview / beta because it really is. And so we're going to see some issues. So hopefully they'll fix some of these issues. And the other thing, like the other anomaly, and I mentioned this the other day, seems to be this frame rate at 22.5, which I'm running right now, between 22.5 and 23, where the frames are fine. And the judder is fine. Like if you could hold 22.5, that might be a magic number with reprojection or something, or with ASW. I'm not sure. It sure seems like it is. But right now, because we're just every time we pop below 22 is when we get the judder. So I'm looking at my screen here. DC initials SAP. Okay, and you're in the Army. Okay. Oh, David. Okay, cool. Gotcha. How you doing, David? Thanks for flying for the group. You have your own group, I know, with Mike. And I actually spoke with Mike today. He helped me out quite a bit. I had some questions about FSEconomy, understanding some of the basic stuff, and he was really helpful. But anyway, I appreciate your help too. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really amazed at how quickly the group is growing, and hopefully we'll get some more people. More people, the faster we'll get to starting to build an empire, which is be kind of cool to do. Yeah, so whatever I make from this flight, I'll transfer into the group. Yeah, Mike knows his stuff, man. I'm like asking one. He like goes deep into it too. I don't know if it's almost like he knows the code. He knows his stuff about FSEconomy, that's for sure. It was really helpful talking to him. So I do appreciate that. I just want to see something. This Carenado. Hold on one second. Let's go to Carenado site. Let's pull this up. See what I can see. I'm pretty sure. The one I have is X-Plane 11. Let me just see. Yeah, this guy here. This is the guy I have. I should check the version. Version 1.2. I should check the version. They might have updated it. They don't send out emails when they update, unfortunately. So I should check that version. Put that in my to-do list. You gotta have it with X-Plane. You have to with your, I shouldn't say X-Plane. With the flight sim hobby, you have to have a to-do list because there's so much shit to do. No, I haven't tried the 404. Let me pull that up again. I'm kind of trying to hold back on buying another plane because. Which is the 404? Is the 404 a Carenado? Yeah, the list never ends. You're right. I don't see the 404 here. I think my glasses on. That's why. Is the 404 a Carenado? Let's see. Where is the 404? Is that an X-Plane 10? Let's see it. Oh, the Titan. Yeah, it's an X-Plane 10, so it works okay with X-Plane 11. They're still charging. You must have got did you get a deal on that one? Because I know they were selling they were giving like half price deals on their X-Plane 10. How many seater is that? You got a good deal. Cool. 9. Ooh. So it flies well in VR? Damn, I should have bought it during the sale. It's a nice plane. Ah, they put the 430 in it. Well, I guess maybe the 530 hadn't come out. It's pretty nice. Oh, you can't interact with the GPS. Okay, well, that's a problem. It looks nice. The Titan. A nice plane. Yeah, the one plane I'm trying to get working is the, let me pull it up here. Just gotta watch my chart here so I can, let's go to the store. And the Quest. Kodiak Quest. I bought this plane. It's a great plane. Bug Eater 64, how you doing? Good day to you too, man. Or good. Well, good. Are you? You must be in an area of the world where it's daytime. Where I am, it's nighttime. So I bought this plane. It's a great plane. I love the plane. It worked okay in flying side, but for the life of me, I cannot get this plane to work in native VR. It just, the judder is so bad. It's like you're in a washing machine. And I asked the developer. I posted on the forum about it, and the developer basically told me that I needed better hardware. Well, he didn't really know what. Oh, it's 850 in upstate South Carolina. Okay, you're in South Carolina. Okay, well I'm in the Northeast, so we're in the same time zone. Yeah. So in any event, I'm having troubles. I love this plane. I would love to fly it more. Yeah, that might be it. It might be the G1000. It's almost like I wish it just had a 530 in it. I think the 3 displays is what's causing the problem in VR. I don't know. Just my guess. But we'll have to see. But right now we're getting really bad frames here. But because I really would like to fly this, but right now it's just for me it's unflyable. Even at low rates, it's unflyable. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna do a couple more tests with it, but you know, yeah. If you try it in VR, you know, let me know what you think, because I'm just struggling with it. I'm struggling with it. All right. In any event, let's get back to our flight here. We're getting close here. And our frame rates are awful right now. Really bad. Now that's the one difference between native VR and flying side. When you started to get crummy rates, what happened was the sim would slow down. You wouldn't get the judder. You never got the judder like you do with native VR. So obviously, you know, we're talking about a different design, so I can understand it, but even though the sim slowed down, it was still flyable, you know. Right now, all I can do here is I could possibly lower some of the settings, but I'm not sure if that would really make much of a difference. And like I said, sometimes you fly this plane, you don't change a thing, and it flies beautifully smooth. And sometimes it does this stuff, you know. And I think that's something that we're just going to have to, you know, they're going to have to get corrected. Just the nature of the beast, you know. It's like we're in terrible turbulence or something. Did you turn one of the screens off in PlaneMaker? That's a good thought. The rightmost screen, the co-pilot screen. That's a good thought. Woot. I guess, is it Woot? TCV? Woot. I know I know you've been here before, and I know you've seen, I've seen you watch John Fly's stream, and maybe Val Dude and a few other guys. Paul. Okay, Paul, that's easier. I'll try to remember that. It's hard to remember everybody's name because you see so many. Yeah, I agree with you. Bug Eater. They've done well for their first step, and hopefully they'll move things the right way, which I think they will. What was really cool. Oh, Sapper is hosting me. Thank you, Sapper. I appreciate that very much. See, Sapper. I was reading on the X-Plane developers blog, and remind me to talk about that. I'm going to land the plane here. Well, I can talk about it now while I'm landing, but on the X-Plane developers blog, Ben, I forget his last name, he wrote that they've had, like, I don't know, some ridiculous amount of comments on the VR posts, like more than they've ever had on anything, which is, I think it's great. That just shows how much interest there is in VR, it's fantastic. All right, so good thing we have the backup screen here, because Carenado screen is not working. Now I'm going to take this plane back, even though we're going to be suffering with some judder. I can assure you that when it's not juddering, it's really, 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 really fun to fly. All right, so we got, let's see, where's my thing? 12 miles in. I agree, the future is bright for native VR. The future is brightest for VR in general. I want to get into the VR industry. Right now, I am in the software industry, but it's a different area. And I'm trying to think of a way to get into the VR industry, because I really think that it's... I think we're just at the infancy. And I think that, the practical use cases, once they scale down, there's two things that have to happen in VR, in my mind. You have to improve the resolution and field of view, right? Let's just call that one thing, right? The visuals. Resolution and field of view have to be improved. Now, along with that come a lot of things, like you need more processing power. I understand that, okay? But they have to be improved. The holy grail for VR is to be as close to regular vision as possible, right? It's like the holy grail for a 2D monitor is that, so. That's number one. Okay, and the number two is the ergonomics, the size, the way it sits on you. So, right now you've got to have this strap with a wire, and it's comfortable, but it's not completely comfortable. And let me just check here, see if I can pick up my airport at 7 miles here. All right, there I am. Okay. It'll be a juddery landing, but I've done that before, so. It's almost like landing in bad weather. All right. So yeah, second thing is ergonomics. So if it's something that's easy to put on, easy to put off, easy to flip up, easy to put down, really light, etc., it'll make it more interesting to people. Autopilot's off. We're going to start to slow the plane down. So those are the two things in my mind that have to happen. In order for VR to really, really take off. And price. But I think those two things are almost more important. The visuals, which is field of view and pixel density, and the ergonomics, the way it feels on your head. You tackle those things. It's just like the cell phone, right? Cell phone started at that big. You've seen the pictures of the first cell phone, that big brick with the antenna sticking out of the top of it. It weighs about 2 pounds. All right, well, it was really cool, but who wanted to carry that around? Well, what does it come down to now?
500.
An iPhone, right? And an iPhone, I'm too low. Wow, see, I'm talking here. I'm too damn low. All right, let me not talk. Let me land the plane. Get a notch of flaps in there. Wheels down. So gas is good at both tanks. Undercarriage is down. 3 green. 3 green. I hope I have 3 green. Does it look like I have 3 green? Oh, I know why. Because those wheels are weird. Well, I put it down, so let's hope that works. Okay, we don't want to stall here. Let's get the flaps down. Didn't give me 3 green. That's weird. We may have a belly landing here, but I mean, the gear is down. Oops, oh shit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That judder is messing with me. Come on, get down, get down. There we go. Okay. Flaps up. Anyway, yeah, so think about the cell phone. So the first cell phone came out with that brick with the antenna and the ass end of it. Now you've got an iPhone, which, I mean, slides into your pocket like smaller than a wallet. You can even get phones that are smaller if you want. The only reason why it's so big is because you want a bigger display. I mean, it could be smaller if you could live with a smaller display. So everything gets smaller and faster. That's technology, right? Smaller and faster. We're going to be going back the other way. Get ourselves lined up. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
I will turn the plane off. Okay. Let's collect our money for FSEconomy. Once I get in the air, guys, I'll read your comments. Just making sure I got enough gas. I'll fly this next one for VR Aviation. I just hit that VR Aviation thing, so yeah, we got plenty of gas. So with the FSEconomy. Okay, good. Let's hope the judder's not as bad. Let me get this plane started up. Mixture in, prop to idle. Where's my left engine? Oops. What happened there? I guess it wants a little bit of prop, I don't know. Okay, good. Dealing with the judder, guys. Dealing with the judder. All right, FSEconomy's in. We got our GPS in. Looks like we got our line again, which is good. Flight director off.
Flight director already off.
Okay, let's go. One thing about the Seneca is it's low to the ground. For a plane with big engines, it's really low to the ground. Alright. And rotate. Gear up. Flaps up. Now, see, the problem is I can't set the vertical speed in this plane because I don't have access to the buttons for the autopilot. So I have to kind of do it all with plane command. So plane command. I mean, you could probably. Oh, you can't even. I guess in the 404 you can't even access the GPS. That sucks. LNAV on.
LNAV on.
See, when you do that, LNAV off.
LNAV already off.
Autopilot off.
Autopilot already on.
Flight detector off.
Flight director off.
I said flight detector. Yeah, I turn the flight director off because it just clears everything out. I want to get to 3,000 here. Hate the judder, man. Hate the judder. Oof. I mean, you see this judder, the Kodiak is constantly like that. You don't get any break from it. All right, I think we don't have to, again, we don't have to fly too high. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
LNAV on.
LNAV on.
And the computer's flying the plane at 1,800 or 1,700 feet. Should be, right? We should be good to go here, right? Let's just make sure. Yep. All right, let me check what you guys are saying here. You guys are yapping up a storm. Multitask, sir. Bug Eater, it's Plane Command. Just planecommand.com, you can check that out. Yeah, the judders. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good to see you. It's it's one of those things. It's like it's just acting up right now. I can't explain it. When I flew this plane the other day or whatever, I think it was yesterday, it was absolutely fine and smooth. So I don't know. I can't explain it. No, it's not normal. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of used to it because I've been doing VR for like almost 2 years, so it kind of doesn't really bother me anymore, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I mean the settings. It's not the settings. This is the Carenado Seneca. It's not the settings. It's like I said. This plane was absolutely smooth as silk the last time I tried it, almost on the same route. To me, this is VR. This is native VR. It's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes it just gets in these moods where you can't shake the judder, and no matter what you do, you just can't shake the judder. So unfortunately, we got to live through it for a little bit longer, and then when we get into the V-Flight Air SR20, hopefully that'll be better. But yeah, so those it's just something that has to be fixed. But I appreciate you guys checking the stream out. We'll go over a quick summary of the, again, I did it in the beginning of the stream, but we'll go through it again. Summary of how things are going with VR Aviation Group in a second here. So is the stream down in the frames? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, if I look at, I'm going to pull up my task manager, and I'll tell you right now, my CPU is running at 60% and the GPU is running at 44%. So I don't think it's the streaming. I think it's just, you know, X-Plane is running at 30% right now, 32%. And it's taking up 25% of the GPU. I'm not sure if I can show you. I guess I can't really show you that, but so yeah, I don't think it's the streaming software. I just think it's, again, it's sometimes planes just, you know, the system just gets in this juddery mood, you know, and there's no getting around it, you know. Yeah, Bug Eater, I don't think you're going to get SLI support. I don't think that's going to be the answer. I think the answer is Vulkan, and I think we're going to see Vulkan, you know, hopefully sometime this year. I've read somewhere where they've already started to implement some of it, but I'm not sure what that means, whether it's the code and then they switch over to the Vulkan engine or API, or what, or they're preparing for it. But you know, I think it's, you know, that will hopefully, you know, fix a lot of issues for them, because I mean, OpenGL is basically, I think it's like a 10-year-old standard. I think it came out in 2007. So there's been at least 3 or maybe 4 generations of CPUs and GPUs since OpenGL came out, right? So I'm sure that they were able to, you know, update it so that it was fine with maybe the 1st or 2nd generation that came out. But then it gets to a point where, you know, when you started to get into, you know, 8-core CPUs, quad-core CPUs with quad-core chips with 8 virtual CPUs and stuff like that. It was 92. I thought it was 2007. So yeah, so it's older than that. So basically, it's not an engine that you should really be using. It's you know, it's archaic. So they know they have to do it, and it's going to improve everything, 2D and 3D. And the sooner they do it, the better, you know. In fact, I would say, like, if they said, look, we're not going to do anything else in VR, we're just going to focus on Vulkan, I'd be like, okay. Focus on Vulkan. Get Vulkan fixed first. Get that implemented first, you know. And I'm sure, hopefully, you know, I'm sure they're writing things knowing what they're going to be, the platform they're going to be going to. So hopefully that'll, you know, that'll straighten things out. Yeah, it's the way to. It's going to help things out. And Metal for the Mac, right? If you've got a Mac, Metal is what the platform they're going to use. So that'll be helpful there. But yeah, it's a very important thing that I know we all can't wait to see. Yeah, wouldn't you? I would rather see them drop everything, and put everyone working on Vulkan. Leave everything the way it is right now, and just focus on Vulkan. Even like their G1000's got some things, and you know, just get the code to where it's stable, and no more features. Just focus on Vulkan. Oh, Doom 2 is OpenGL. Okay, there you go. I thought it was 2007. For some reason, I had 2007 in my brain. That must have been something else. But all right, so it's what, it's 2 decades, 25 years. It's time for something else. I agree with that too. I'm in the software world too, dude. I know exactly what you're saying. You know, sometimes too many hands makes things go slower. That's correct. But I would say that it should be a priority. You know, it should definitely be prioritized. Maybe it is. You know, I'm sure Austin Myers is a smart guy. I'm sure that he is thinking that way. I'm sure he knows that would If once they get to that point, it's going to basically catapult their flight sim. If they get the optimization they're talking about from going to that API, it'll catapult their flight sim because they'll be able to do things that are amazing with weather and clouds and all that. That'll blow everything else you see away, you know. Well, that's the thing too. I mean, a lot of the problems that they're fixing, you know, could be solved. Who again, I'm not writing the software, so I don't really, I'm just, you know, I'm pulling this kind of like out of my butt, right? But, you know, maybe, like you said, Bug Eater, a lot of the problems that we see now might go away because, especially optimization stuff, because of using a more up-to-date and more powerful engine. In any event, you know, you're going to be able to take, like I can tell you right now, when I'm running X-Plane VR, not streaming, not anything else, just X-Plane VR, okay? I posted this on the Aviators group the other day. My CPU's at like 28%, 29%, and the GPU's at 28%. It's a 1080 Ti. So think about today. My son was playing Fortnite on my computer. It was cranking. It was so smooth, and you know, it was utilizing all the cores I was looking at. It was utilizing all the cores. It was utilizing about 60% of the GPU to crank out, you know, what they call epic graphics for Fortnite. It looked amazing. So when you've got a piece of software that can't take advantage of a GPU like that, that's a major problem. Yeah, so many things have to change. You're right. It's a complete rewrite, I'm sure, right? I know it's a big task. So me and Mike had a thought, would you want to merge your group with ours or vice versa? Whoa. Well, let me think about that, David. Let me think about that. I know I'm kind of intrigued of like starting from scratch and building it up and then getting to the point where you could say, wow, look, we started with like, you know, $15,000 that I funded and now we've got all this stuff. But let me think about it. I mean, I do appreciate the offer. That's a really, really nice offer of you. But let me think about that, all right? And then we can talk more about it. I don't mean to refuse your offer. I'm not refusing. I just want to think about it. But I'm flattered that you would offer that, and I appreciate it. Yeah, we're not that big. We're pretty small right now. They're pretty big. They've got a pretty big one. They've got stuff. They've got a bunch of FBOs, a bunch of planes and stuff. So theirs is pretty big. So they'd be doing us a favor. David would be doing us a favor. And that's why I'm saying I really do appreciate the offer. Like I said, there's something in my mind that says it would be really cool to start from zip and, you know, get to the point where, you know, we got some stuff going, and maybe then we would merge. Oh, you and Mike are the main flyers. Okay. What's the name of your what is the name of your group? I want to see if I can find it here. RML. Let me just go down. This is what I hate here. You have to scroll through this thing. This thing is so, I mean, it's a great system, and it's amazing that it's free. I'm not bitching, because it is free, and I would actually pay for it. It's that much fun. But it's such a pain in the ass to navigate. RML flight service. I'm going to join you guys if you don't mind. Oh, why didn't that work? Okay, I'm going to join you guys. You agree, let's do it on our own. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like, like I said, David, I mean, I totally appreciate the offer. And I just want to join your group just to see what you guys are doing and stuff, if you don't mind. Brendan, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate that. Control F. What will Control F do? Oh, okay, thanks. Oh, you're okay. Oh, I thought you were a different Mike. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Boeing engineer. Do you work for Boeing, dude? Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool, Mike. My brother works for the military. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a Boeing. No, it's not a Boeing helicopter. He works on Apaches. He does. He writes software for Apaches. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. And Mike, do you have your PPL? Oh, that's your heli. Okay. Yeah, he writes. He works for the Army, and he writes. He can't tell me really what he writes. But I think it has something to do with like the maintenance and analytic systems. Okay, yeah, well, that's what he's been doing for the last, I don't know, 15 years or whatever. Pretty cool stuff. You don't hear the sound? You hear me, right? Yeah, okay. I wanted to check the log here. Okay, so Brendan, you're part of RML as well. I can see. Sapper. Okay. Yeah, you guys got a lot of people flying for you. Good. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna hold off, and I just want to, like I said, I just want to think about it. But I tell you, while we're in the air, let me just go over. So right now we've got 88,000 in VR Aviation. Okay. And if you take a look at our log here, some people doing some great flying. Rift Flyer, which is Fergus from the VR Aviators Group, and this is Brandon. Far from me to remember all the names. I know M9 Air. He's the actual Cirrus pilot. He flies Cirruses for real. SR-20, I believe. Crash at D-Stole, Rift Flyer, ZZ Potato. Anyway, a lot of people flying today and yesterday, so we're getting there. You know, we're getting there. Okay, you're N13. That must be your tail number. Now, do you own a plane, Mike? Oh, yeah, the code you got. Gotcha. Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Yes. Well, I think you should market that code, man. Brad. Sir, thank you, M9. Brad. Thank you. It's hard for me to remember all the names with 700 and something people on the group, you know. I kind of remember the pictures, the profile pictures, better than the kids' birth years. Okay, gotcha. I remember the pictures better, and I know you're Robert.
Clear for Vector 324.
You have clearance.
Who's flying? Hawkfish 3. Thanks for following, man. Appreciate that. Hawkfish 3. Robo Freeven. Robert, I appreciate you flying too. So anyway, so we're doing well here, and I kind of talked about what I thought would be the strategy. And Oh, Robo Fryman, thank you very much for Robert. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Really helpful. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And welcome to Bambino VR. In any event, so I was kind of talking about. Oh, Bowling Engineer Mike just subscribed. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Wow, that's 2 Twitch. That's awesome, man. That's a what they call that, a subscribe train. 2 in a row like that. That's awesome. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you check it out live, and you can watch either on YouTube or the video. There's video archives on Twitch too, which is cool because they have the chat. So if you wanted to watch read the chat and stuff, you could do that. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about real quickly was just my thoughts on the strategy. We're starting out here. We only have 88,000. I really don't want to borrow any money. I just don't like to do that. And I'm thinking that, we establish a place, and I kind of think the Northeast would be, and it's not the only place we're going to finish. Like, start in one place. I'm thinking down the line we would have like the Northeast, somewhere in the West Coast, and then somewhere in the UK, because we have some folks that are involved that are over in the UK. And so we start with the Northeast, establish a hub, maybe around LaGuardia, maybe in like central New Jersey, maybe in Pennsylvania, somewhere around there, because there's a lot of really good short flights that you can get in that area and make a good amount of money. So establish there, either rent some gates, thanks to Mike, now I understand what that's all about. Either rent some gates at the start so we could generate some assignments, or save up for an FBO and start there, and then maybe buy the first plane. I'm thinking the first plane should be, something that everyone can rent, like, a Skyhawk, because it's a, and I'm sorry, I talked about all this in the beginning of the stream, and I'm going to repeat it because a lot of you guys weren't there. Brendan, you're very welcome, man. I'm glad that that's working out for you. I figure the Skyhawk, it's a stock plane in pretty much every sim, right? That can fly in FSEconomy, FSX, and in X-plane. So anybody can fly a plane, right? And I think that's the first thing. So we start with a Skyhawk, and then maybe the next plane would be like a larger stock plane, like the C-90 King Air. Okay. And then from there we'll take it from there. But I think we start with a place we're going to fly, an area. Then we start to maybe get an FBO. Then we start to buy some planes. That's what I'm kind of thinking. So anyway, hopefully that thinking makes sense. Yeah. Brendan, that 22.5 number is really a strange thing. I don't know, DC. I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that question definitively. I can tell you that when my sim is running at 22.5, if it stays between 22 and 23 all the time, it's absolutely smooth as silk. Okay? Now, Fergus thinks that might be a bug. He mentioned that the other night. I don't know if it's a bug or not. Because it's half of 45. So, half of 45, which means if you take a look at ASW, right? Asynchronous time, space warp. Maybe when you hit that 12.5, it's got something to... All right, Mike, take care, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks, dude. And thanks for your help today. I really do appreciate it. I mentioned that earlier. Thank you. I think that 22.5 is a magical number because it's, it's half of 45, which is 45's the sweet spot because they're trying to double up to 90, and maybe... Again, I'm taking a pure guess, but performance doesn't lie. And if I've flown in the sim for, half hour, 45 minutes, always at 22.5 in the B1900D, smooth as silk. So I don't know. I was going to write the folks at Laminar about it and see what they thought, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Brad. I'm not sure you can. You can lock it at 45. You can't lock it at 20. I don't see a way to lock it at 22.5. When they have a built-in code in the ASW, that's what I'm thinking. I've seen. I'm thinking that number has something. It noticed it the other night on the stream. It's like, what? It's 22.5 and it's absolutely smooth as silk. That's okay, Brendan. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. I think everybody else is getting the sound, so probably might have something to do with your, maybe your PC or whatever, maybe your headset. I'm not sure. Maybe your sound source or something. You might have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, I can't test it other than just flying, okay, and observing the frame rates, but I don't know, it sure seems strange, and it's almost like I want to ask Laminar if there's a way to just lock in 22.5, Because I mean, if you could do that, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time for another flight today. I think we're gonna have to keep it to one flight. But anyway, so because it's almost 9:30 here, I promised my wife I'd do something with her at 10. So, but in any event, oh, you got it? Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, usually it's almost like when you're in the cockpit in VR and you're like, oh, why isn't this working? What's wrong with this plane? And it's always like, it's always my fault. It's always pilot error. Oh, you know what? You guys are watching the screen, the stupid Chrome window. Sorry about that. Yeah, we got the judders here tonight. What I will do is once we land, I'm just going to take off from LaGuardia in the SR-20. I just want to see if that makes a difference or not. Because then we can kind of tell maybe if it's the plane. All right, David, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you. Because we're getting close here. It's actually probably better inside. Now, what's really funny is...
Flight 209er clear for
Hey,
Victor
Fly Tom,
34.
thanks for the follow, man. I
Clearance, Clarence.
appreciate that.
Roger, roger.
Welcome to the
What's our
stream,
vector,
welcome to the
Victor?
channel. You flew at 22.5 as well. It's everyone seems to be getting that same thing. So here's something that's strange. So I'm looking at, well, I guess it's not strange. The mirror window for X-Plane is absolutely smooth, while the Oculus, what you guys see is the Oculus mirror. So it's what I see in the headset, and that is juddery. So that makes sense though, because it's the reprojection that's juddery. It's not the sim, it's the reprojection. Well, I think it's still a big frame rate, Og. Because I cannot get that plane to work for me for the life of me. I just can't get it to work. See, right?
Destination ATIS is 125.95.
Judder, judder, judder. Oh, what's wrong with my camera's messed up too? Sorry about that, guys. We're not. There's Hawkfish. We're not. I don't know a way to limit it. It's just sort of like happening on its own. I mean, I'm using the 3J FPS script. You can find that on X-Plane.org. And I've got it to basically go to 46 frames per second, but it just naturally comes down to like 22.5. It's hard to explain. It's just sort of like on its own. Oh, that's ForeFlight. ForeFlight basically is really smart. Like when you get within like I guess a 20-mile range of the airport, it'll just, you can see like it says, look in the upper left-hand corner, that's ForeFlight. And it talks to you and it tells you that, it gives you the ATIS information. It's $100 a month for the basic subscription for flight. It's really cool. It interfaces with X-Plane. Man, the judder is awful. That's all in the headset. So whenever I move, like I keep my head still. It's not bad if I keep my head still. As soon as I move my head, boom, it's awful. Look at that. As soon as I move my head a little bit, that's when it starts. Sorry, Brendan. Sorry about that. Yeah, the G1000 is not yet. Well, it's the 3 screens. I think it's the 3 screens. We talked about that earlier. I think if you could turn that, the right seat screen off, it might be better. Although the developer seems to think it has something to do with hardware, which I kind of had to correct them on X-Plane.org. In the forum. You know, I was using Flight Plan Go, Brad, and it was just free. And because I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to spend $100 a year. And I tell you what, ForeFlight is much better. It's much better. All right, we're getting ready to make our turn here, so I want to start. Now we're down to 16 frames, so. It's going to be another rocky one. But we'll get it down. But you know, it's actually, you know, and I'm sure people are going to watch the replay and say, oh, that's horrible. And they're not going to hear me say what I'm about to say. This is the kind of thing that happens with VR. You know, we're in the early stages of the software, and you get into these issues where you don't really know what the problem is, and then you reboot and everything's so silky smooth. But I'm very used to this. Like, it doesn't make me sick. It used to when I first started. It would make me sick, but sort of like, I don't know, like my brain knows it's going to happen, so it doesn't bother me as much. I don't know. Hard to explain. So, second PC, do some computation work to see how well networking works for that. You mean to use 2 CPUs? Hope for the best of the landing. I'll make it in. I'm not worried about that.
Caution. TFR ahead.
Well, I mean, I can tell you real quick that let me just tell you how much RAM we got. 39%. I got 32 gigs, so I'm using 39%. Chrome is using 210 meg. X-Plane's using about 5 gig. So, I mean, I've got 39% memory utilized. 62 on the GPU, 39 on memory, and 37 on 60 on the CPU, 39 memory, and 37 on the GPU. So, it ain't the hardware. It ain't the hardware. All right, let me get this baby down. I know I can get it down. It's definitely the software. Start to slow things down. I've made this landing so many times. Like, I know where that little horseshoe beach is, and I could see the red dot already up there. So now we're getting stutter and judder. It's the judder. It's the judder. We'll call it the judder. We're getting the judder. That's the worst that's the worst combination. It's not too bad if you're not moving in 6 degrees of motion. Like, you know, the worst it gets is when you're like, if you're like doing a spacewalk or something in some of those space games, like detached or Mission ISS, which Mission ISS runs perfectly smooth in VR. But if you're in like one of those spacewalk things where you're moving left and right, up and down, all 6 degrees of freedom, that's when you have problems. That's when you start to get sick. At least for me, that's when I get sick. But if I'm moving on like a horizontal plane, it doesn't really bother me. All right, let me see here. Okay. Talk amongst yourself, guys. Let me get this plane in here. That's the judder right there. It's the judder. Because we're stuttering and juddering. All right, watch your speed, Casey. It's like being in a bad storm. .140 knots. I'll be glad when this flight's over. First notch of flaps. Probably should have done a little bit slower, but it's okay. And I don't want to forget to I'm going to transfer some money from that first flight into the coffers of
500.
VR Aviation Group. Let's get those wheels down. I'm not getting a 3 green for some reason, but I know they're down. That worked the other night too, so maybe the plane is just acting funky. Flaps full. .300 feet, watching our speed. Yeah. So if you're watching this for the first time, don't comment, "Oh, VR sucks." Trust me, this is an anomaly. I just don't feel like restarting it. It's normally not like this. These guys watching can attest to that. Just don't want to crash this plane. I mean, it's not an easy plane to land anyway. And with this the judder, it's even more challenging. I trim up a little bit. Speed is good. Flare it up a little bit. Start to drop the throttle, and we're going to be a little hard. That's all right. We did a bounce, but you guys got to give me the bounce there. All right, let's stop this baby. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let me turn the plane off. Finish this guy, and then what I want to do is I'm going to let's switch this to a plane I know is fine, and that's the SR-20. We're going to go to the same. Well, we'll go to the runway, and we'll start that up. Actually, let's start that up a little earlier in the day, 3 o'clock. Oh, damn it. This guy. Good. Start. All right, cool. Let's get that going. See if we get rid of the jitters there. What you guys talking about? Explain as a PC networking setup. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. If you got a powerful enough PC, that may be kind of cool. I'd like to hear how that goes if you decide to do it. You had some fading to black yesterday, but not today. It does that time to time. It fades into the Steam VR window, if you will, when it switches scenery, it seems like. Air Cars is a killer at first. And it tells me you cannot fly for a group unless you have an assignment aboard. Well, you have to have. You can fly any assignment. You don't have to. You don't have to have a. You don't have to have a group assignment. You can fly any assignment anywhere. I'm not sure why it's saying that. Have I tried the S76? No, I have not. Not sure what that is actually. You made a first flight in the EVGA 737 yesterday. Tried to do it in VR, but the FMC was inaccessible with the controllers. That sucks. So I had to do it with the flight using Track IR. Okay. Well, that sucks. All right, let me go to, before we go into this plane here, let me go to this guy and let's see how we did here. So log. There we go. There's that guy here. So, let me go to this guy here. All right, so that was our last flight. We made $1,200, so I'm going to transfer. Well, 20 grand. I just made 20 grand in cash. Someone is renting this guy here, this dude here. Trav Ford. I'm not sure who he is or she is, but he is renting the crap out of my B1900D at LaGuardia. Oh, the default. No, I don't think that helicopter works, dude. I don't think that works. I think they said that doesn't. It's not supported yet. I don't understand that. I don't understand why it won't let you do that. That's really weird. You should be able to fly any assignment anywhere. Without, doesn't, as long as you say fly for, and you should be able to say, that's really strange. I'm not sure what the problem is there. But in any event, this dude is flying the crap out of this plane. He's taking it all over the place, which is great. But in any event, let me get back to this. So banking. So I'm going to transfer from my account to VR Aviation, $1,200. I'll make it $1,500. All right, because I'm a nice guy. Boom. All right. So that covers the first flight. And cool. So we're doing pretty well. Just move this over so it's easy for me to calculate. So we got 91 foul. It's not bad. Doing pretty good. All right, so back to the plane here. So I got the SR-20 loaded. No judder. So was the plane. Completely judder free. Look at that. Beautiful. It was the plane. Now that plane was absolutely fine the last time. But I'm glad it's the plane. All right, let me, I feel like taking a little flight in this guy. Let's see here. So we're going to... Now, Brad flies these for real, so I got to make sure I do this the right way. Bat 1 on. Oop. Bat 2 on. And clear prop. Got her started. Alternator, avionics, nav, strobe. We'll put the landing lights on. Clear the clutter. Oh, we are getting a little. As soon as we turn on that MFD. As soon as we turn on those avionics. Let me just see something here. Turn on the avionics. Let's try turning it on again and see what happens. Just check my frame rates. So we're getting 22.5 around there. Between 22 and 23. You know what? I would maybe post something in the FSEconomy forum and ask them why that is. Because you're approved in the group, and everybody else in the group is able just to fly any assignment they want. I just don't understand that. I would post that. If you're having a problem with that, I would post that. Yeah, Brad, forget about real weather with VR, man. Forget about it. Don't even try. I wouldn't even think about that in VR until Vulcan. It's just not going to be enjoyable. So here we go. We're getting a little bit of judder here. So, but I mean, a little bit I can take, and that could be because we got all this autogen around here, right? We got, you know, buildings and stuff. I could take that. Let's just see what happens when we take off here. Pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. Definitely better than the other plane. Little stutter. That's much better. $84 knots, right, Brad, for the flaps to come up, and 500 feet for caps. I watched Cirrus Max's video and Nico and all those guys. So Brad, you should think about that. If you're flying SR-20s, man, you should put some video cameras in there and do some YouTube videos, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah, much smoother. Look at this. Much smoother. So it was definitely the plane. So all you guys that were looking at, oh, VR sucks. Look at the judder. Now look, does this suck? No. This is smooth as silk. This is awesome. I mean, you're going to have a little bit of stuttering. I mean, you have a little bit of stuttering and flying side. Okay, you got to live with a little bit of that. I don't mind that. It's the constant washing machine that bothers